when the autopsy is written on this horrific, racist chapter in American history. I think what's going to be so fascinating for those learning about it is how so many people lost their minds, their moral compass, relationships, family relationships, because they were blindly obedient to an incompetent, deranged, old man that clearly has dementia. So while all this stuff is going on in the world, right wing's melting down about Bad Bunny, because I guess people speaking Spanish is triggering when you're a thin-skinned, amoral MAGA cultist. Their cult leader is on his social, idiotic social media platform because he got kicked off of all the others when he tried to do an insurrection. So he started his own. And he goes on these benders. And here's just one that just gets slipped into the news cycle. I won't read the whole thing to you all, but Aaron Rupar has posted a summary of it. Trump, in the middle of his latest unhinged Truth Social screed, claims that if Canada makes a trade deal with China, the first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. And here's the thing, like, I understand all of us have been around old people with dementia. All of us have been around people that are old and kind of mean. I guess what I'm fascinated by right now is the people who read this and are like, oh my God, ice hockey is going to be gone because of the Chinese, and they're going to eliminate the Stanley Cup. Like that they connect all of this insanity to somehow their feeling that they are oppressed. And I want to remind everybody, the bulk of MAGA, they got everything they wanted in this last election. They have the presidency, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the Supreme Court. They have all of Trump's sycophants buying up all of corporate media. They have everything they want. And these people are still miserable. They still feel oppressed, which brings me to my foregone conclusion. Nothing will fix these people. They are permanently emotionally stunted and scarred from a culture in the United States of America that values profits over human beings.
Here's the thing about Trump. He's a bully. He's just a big, fat, insecure, little teeny weeny peeny bully. But here's the thing. It's like he's mad at Canada for making a trade deal. When the first thing he did when he got into office the second time was call Canada the 51st state. You know, he sent an official lie social disinviting Canada from his board of peace. I mean, he's so freaking immature and stupid. It's just, he's stupid. And these people, I think they give him a pass of, oh, he's so funny. Oh, he's gonna take away ice hockey from these people. I think they think he's just a laugh and a half because they're so dumb. They don't understand true wit and comedic energy and timing. But it's just, it amazes me that people don't look at this and think this man immediately needs to be 25th Amendment. He immediately needs to be put in a nursing home because he is absolutely fucking out of his mind.
Well, and he serves up what they really want. He serves up memes of Michelle and Barack Obama
Correct.
As apes. And so when he throws in this stuff mixed in with some heavy anti-Black racism, which is the MAGA base's first love, anti-Black racism. They've settled and moving on for immigrants and being triggered about these other things. But as long as he serves that up, which was the impetus of his campaign, Barack Obama is not American. Barack Obama was born in Kenya. That racism unlocked something in these people that they felt damaged by the progress of Black Americans. They felt like Barack Obama's presidency damaged them, that it took something away from them. And the person who is providing deliverance is this guy, because he allows them and gives them a permission structure to be racist. And then, of course, he's surrounded by just complete nuts. And so there's this congressman named Randy Ogles, and I just want to review his halftime post. Last night's halftime show was a disgrace, and it mocked American families. Depicting gay pornography on primetime has no place in our culture. The Bad Bunny performance is conclusive proof that Puerto Rico should never be a state. And what I have to say to Representative Andy Ogles is this is a big tell for you.
Yes.
This tells me that when you see men dancing, your brain interprets it as gay porn. Your brain interprets it as exciting and titillating. I actually saw a heterosexual marriage in the halftime show. He sees hot men doing salsa style dancing, and he was aroused. And he went to Twitter to prove that when he sees men dancing, he's aroused, much like little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson when somebody called him Magic Mike. Went to the movie Magic Mike, where these men are hot strippers dancing. And for him, that's gay porn. For Congressman Ogles, seeing attractive men dancing is gay porn to him. So my messaging here is the Democrats, here is an opportunity to bridge this divide on the culture wars, because clearly after the Bad Bunny thing, we won the culture wars. I mean, even the Paul brothers or Logan, whatever their names, those Logan Paul, he starts off with, I'm not going to watch the halftime show, all the way to Bad Bunny was great. And they see that Americans love multiculturalism. My big thing is I am fascinated, and I always have been, about MAGA men that talk about gay stuff all the time.
Yep.
They just talk about gay stuff more than the gay people that I know. And listen to me, listener. I have been an interior designer for 25 plus years. So my gay friends are abundant. And I have never quite heard so many gay comparisons out in the world, out in the wild, as I have pertaining to MAGA men seeing gayness in something that really wasn't even gay. And I think it's a real Freudian style tell.
I completely agree. And what's so funny about that is you hear what they say. You see what they post. Benny Johnson with the gay cruises, Moses Mike with Magic Mike. And I think no wonder Grindr crashes every time these people are together. They're obsessed and thinking about gay stuff all the time because they have a desire to do it. Yet their religion or their, whatever they think their status they're projecting doesn't allow them to be who they are. That's why they're angry. That's why they crash Grindr in secret. That is why they have to be so hateful, because the rage is against themselves, in my opinion.
Speaking of alleged heterosexuals, a person that is completely obsessed with men talks about them ad nauseum, talks about masculinity, talks about real men do this, real men do that. Of course, is ridiculous propagandist on Fox News, Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters was completely unhinged, which is just another Monday night in America, last night on Fox News. And so these MAGA people fundamentally have a hard time understanding that Puerto Rico is the United States, and it is treated really poorly by our government. And there was a lot of messaging in Bad Bunny's halftime show about the electrical issues in Puerto Rico, about multiculturalism, about valuing love over hate, and lifting up small immigrant children when he handed the Grammy to the little boy. And so here's how this was all received over on Fox. Play the clip.
The Super Bowl not to be an international event. I like it when we kind of all come together as Americans, especially when it feels like the NFL is just using it as a marketing ploy to recruit Latin American audience on the heels of Latin America invading this country. 20 million pouring in. And that's...
Pause it right there. That's a lie. The 20 million pouring in, that isn't a demonstrably proven lie, yet it continues and continues on Fox and through this administration. Continue on.
All these foreigners speaking a foreign language with foreign flags marching into the camera like a caravan. Too soon. Listen, this was an open borders moment. Everybody knows it. That's what's going on here. And all the reporters.
Okay. So obviously that's just insane. And the bigger issue for me, again, is Trump is insane. Fox News are chief propagandists. They are making billions of dollars. Rupert Murdoch has done so much damage to this country. It's really alarming when you sit back and think about it. Is that millions of people sit at home at night and watch that, and it feeds something in them, which is this default setting of racism. And I remember, and it doesn't just apply to brown people. They get really mad at white people that embrace multiculturalism as well. And I'll give you an example. When John Kerry was running for president against George W. Bush, John Kerry can speak fluent French. And he's over in France and he starts speaking fluent French. And then later on, when he was Secretary of State, he would be in France or at some EU thing and he would speak fluent French. This same level of meltdown about somebody who's bilingual. And so I just have to implore the question, like, is your whole world and your identity built up so thinly, like a house of cards, that if somebody speaks a different language or has a different skin color, or is somebody who you deem to be a heritage American, like, this is why Fox gets so mad at me, because they say, oh, wait a minute, she's a heritage American. She's from Northern Europe and born in Texas. She's supposed to be on our side. She's a race traitor, just like they thought Mike Pence was. And they are so insecure that anything that isn't in their own little teeny tiny narrow worldview, it is explosive diarrhea on Lie Social, on Twitter, on Fox News. And it feeds this hysteria. And I think the thing that amazes me about the MAGA movement is just how thin-skinned, fragile, and hysterical they are. These people are absolutely hysterical. It was a Super Bowl show. The America that I have grown up in is like, if you don't like it, change the channel. Right? You have autonomy. You have agency. And all of this could have been avoided by Jesse Waters changing the channel. But we saw in an episode that I did yesterday that even at Mar-a-Lago, which, by the way, is not an English name, Mar-a-Lago, doesn't sound very American to me. But at Mar-a-Lago, the foreign named golf club, they're watching Bad Bunny. They're not watching the shit show Kid Rock thing, because Kid Rock sucks. They're watching Bad Bunny and Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin and all of the fabulous multiculturalism that America has to offer. And this is the thing that scares them so much. They're so concerned about the great replacement theory. They're so concerned about people, white people, breeding, heritage Americans, as they call it, breeding with brown-skinned people and maybe speaking another language. And I just think, what a pathetic existence that's your big rub in life. Like, out of all of the things in the world to be mad about, like, hey, maybe the president of the United States is an adjudicated rapist and in cankles deep in the middle of a pedophile sex ring, wherein the lead operator appears to be a Mossad agent who also is selling off shit to Russia to bribe our president. That's how it appears to me. But no, let's get wound up about a musician named Bad Bunny, wherein you could have simply not watched the show. All right, listen up, listener. The Trump administration has said that we cannot call them fascists. And the last time I checked, we still had a First Amendment. So naturally, I've been busy writing a book called Not Today, Fascists: The Lies That Got Us Here and the Truths That Will Reunite Us. My book will publish on October 6th. And if you really want to give the administration the bird, go over and pre-order it wherever books are sold.
Well, here's the deal. They have to have something to talk about, and it has to be racist, because that's what the people that watch Fox News want to hear. So they can't talk about Epstein. They can't talk about Trump being so ass deep in these files and the atrocities that he committed against young girls as alleged in these files, and all the other people in his cabinet. For example, Howard Lutnick, I know, but they can't talk about that. So they have to imagine a slight. And here's the thing. They have Fox News anchors and the audience. They think that if you have access to the American dream, that takes away my access to the American dream. They've never figured out that the more access people have to upward mobility, the better it is. And you look at this wealth disparity and you see people are getting poorer and the 1% and the richer, they're getting richer and richer and richer. So what they're doing, they're feeding the hate. They're feeding this anger in people, and they're making them think you're going to take from me. If you're equal, then you take from me, which is the biggest bunch of horse shit, because it's the billionaires that are taking everything. And I just want to say one other thing. The whole theme of Bad Bunny's halftime show, which I rewatched after I, read about all the nuggets in it. It was like, love is more powerful than hate. This is America. And these people are triggered by that. And it is unbelievably racist and appalling. And the fact that it's just sitting there on the news like it's normal, it's just fucking gross.
Well, these people have been historically triggered by halftime Super Bowl performances. Like, this isn't new. They're always upset by art. They're upset by the fact that open-minded people that tend to be creative tend to be more progressive, that facts have a liberal bias. Lately they've been running around saying there are no Republican professors at any of the Ivies. And I'm like, well, no shit, because facts have a liberal bias. It's not like somebody ascends that high and critically thinks that much and then says, you know what I think we should do? We should tax the working class more than the billionaires. That makes perfect sense to me. That just, when you get data and you get facts, you don't end up in that place. But this is a classic historical scapegoating that we've seen in other times of history, other fascist regimes, which brings me to Megyn Kelly, who is, I think, in the latter stages of MAGA psychosis. Play the clip.
All right, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who...
I care that we have 40 million Hispanics in the United States. It doesn't bother me in the least bit that it was all in Spanish, because I think it's fascinating to get a little sampling and a taste of a different culture that literally hundreds of millions of people around the world like Bad Bunny. And what an honor to be able to have the world's largest Latino pop star agree to perform at the Super Bowl during Trump's reign of absolute murder, terror, and debauchery on U.S. citizens. Keep going.
Who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Okay, what is the...
Okay, I'm just going to leave it with this. Megyn Kelly, chinga tu madre puta. All right? Like, subscribe, comment. We'll be back later.